All right, we are live.
We are live. You got to say it. Look at that. We've got a nice different background going.
I know. Great, looks beautiful.
Colors.
I even wore a shirt that apparently matches in a dangerous sort of fashion, but nice, very nice.
Screen, so
oh yeah,
so it's all good. Ready to kick this off proper?
Let's kick it off. Welcome to the Mid-Geek Crisis,
episode 90. MFN episodes. Look at that.
That's very exciting.
Yes. Look at that.
90, probably 91 wasted hours. I love it.
At least. Oh my God! Welcome everyone to the Mid-Geek Crisis. Yeah. Again, I get to pull this up. I'm Joe, the Afro Man.
Oh wow! Look at this. I'm cautious. Pedro is my real name up there for everyone to see. Fantastic. I like the font. Very nice. Awesome.
Boom, pull it up. Yeah, look at that. 90 episodes in, and we're still starting like it's day
fresh,
one.
Fresh episode every time.
Fresh. Oh man. How was your week? How was your week?
I mean, it's in the can, I guess. We got through it just fine, healthy, hearty, whole. Been playing Spiritfarer like a fiend. I love it. Fantastic game.
So have I, although I kind of gave it up to my kid. My kid has been playing it more than I have. He's been dumping hours into it. And it's
my kiddo refuses to gather resources because she doesn't like to cut down trees.
Yeah, okay.
So she just plays the cat the whole time and just runs around as the cat the whole time, which is a lot of fun. But then I have to log in later to actually do all the resource gathering, but it's fun.
So where did you hear about this game? I remember us seeing it, but you were hyped about it. Like that was the first time that an indie game like this had come out like new on a release date. You were like, hey, guys gotta check it out. So what?
Yeah, I mean, it was at PAX East. We saw it at PAX East 2020. I got to check it out. I thought it was beautiful looking. The music was great. The smoothness of it. It looked so relaxing. And considering it was like, I mean, they must have been kicking themselves that it took them so long to get it out there because it was like pre-COVID, right? Because it was PAX East 2020. And now it's the perfect Animal Crossing style, smooth running, relaxing game to play. While just hanging out in front of your Xbox. Like it's got everything you want. Animals, stretching, really cool, like how you say, what's the term, like waiting animations, like when they're just standing there doing things, like the cat plays with the ball, she does something with the yo-yo, fishing is easy. It's got a little bit of everything and it looks gorgeous, right? That's what I
read a pretty good review on it, and they summed it up very nicely in a very modern way, saying it is Hygge, the game.
Hygge? I'm not familiar with this.
So the term Hygge, it's like a Swedish term, Hyuggg. You just look up. It just means it's that moment of like, like if you were to sit down with a good book, it's raining outside, you got the fire going, that like warmth, like that, like cozy feeling. That's called Hygge.
Hygge. All right, I think that's exactly what this is. I mean, there's even like a hugging, right? You can actually hug.
Yeah. That's hug. You actually walk up and hug.
And the cat like rubs their leg and it's this little meow, a little purring sound. So it's pretty cool. Like the animations are just so sweet and so much fun. The way Stella uses her hat, all that stuff. My daughter was pleasantly surprised when it turned out the main character was a little girl. She was like, "Oh wait, that's a girl?" And I'm like, "I think so, yeah." And she was very excited for that. So it was cool. That's actually my favorite mini game, the lightning bolts.
Yeah, the lightning bolts. You catch the lightning in the bottle.
Super fun mini game.
The resource.
It's a billion different mini games, right? So it's fun. It's good. It breaks it up. I'm very much enjoying the mellowness of it. I play it after work with her for about 30, 40 minutes, and it's a good time.
So this is interesting. But we've got to talk about the plot of the game because it's showing it right here, and it's something that like even just thinking about
spoilers. I got a lion. What is all these spoilers? Close this. What is this nonsense you're showing me here, dude?
But
the game just came out. You're showing me ending sequences.
No, that's what happens. Apparently, that's what happens with any character. It can happen at any time.
Great. Now I know it happens with the lion. Thanks. That's awesome. Appreciate it.
So
it's just like people get cut for this, Joe. What is this?
So Spirit Fair, the whole purpose of the game is you kind of take over for death, I guess, in a way.
Sure, and you're the fairy person. You're the person.
You're the fairy crossing them across the river Styx in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And
God, they become constellations.
I guess so. I don't know. I don't know.
Is this a trailer or the freaking person beating the game? What is this nonsense?
So yeah,
cool.
You get a boat. You get a boat to kind of like and the boat becomes kind of like a building place. But as you collect animals, these animals, they're people that have they're spirits. And so the purpose of the game is you're doing these like tasks for them to kind of fulfill their
usher on to the shake off their mortal coil. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You get to a point where you then cross, and that bridge is also like the archway to the other side.
It's pretty neat. It's beautiful. I love it. I don't know.
There is a Greek god for that.
I don't think he's a god. Sharon, right? The fairy guy, takes a coin, takes him over the river Styx, all that good stuff, right?
Replace. Yep.
But maybe a god. I don't know. Greek pantheon confuses me sometimes. Speaking of pantheons.
Oh, look at that. It's like we've been doing this for 90 episodes. You pull that through the pantheon.
I mean, we can't deny our fans. We got one guy out there calling for the DC fandom, right? So I feel like we should talk about this. Just get it out of the way early. This way we have enough time to actually talk about this.
I promise I'm not going to take over. What I want to just talk about is I'm going to start off without talking about DC fandom. I'm going to talk about the idea that in this post-COVID, with convention after event canceled, moved, this was definitely a very bright, shining light in all of this. It was like DC went, you know what? We lost our platform. We lost Hall H at Comic-Con. We lost the platform that is Comic-Con in person. It was all kind of at the mercy of when Comic-Con or how these developers or publishers or whatever wanted to release the news. Yep. So they decided to pull everything back and go, you know what? Let's do our own thing. And so they created their own Comic-Con. It was a 24-hour event. It was 12 hours long. And then at the 12-hour mark, it literally it recycled. It played them all over.
All right.
So it all for 24 hours only.
So you've watched them twice already, I'm sure.
I've watched many of them twice.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It was free for everyone. They took questions early on from individuals, so the fans could ask questions.
Sure.
It was well rehearsed, just meticulously laid out in a way that was cheesy at some points, because of course anything that you get to have the developers kind of dropped and make them talk and fill time can sometimes feel kind of.
Was there a lot of suit jackets with T-shirts on?
No, of course it's a comic, so it's a lot of just T-shirts in general.
A lot of just T-shirts
for sure. But man, it was intense. I knew there was a lot of the news had been kind of coming out of what was going to be announced, But then when you kind of sat back and looked at it, you were like, man, DC has a lot to say at the moment. That's amazing that they were able to kind of pull all that back. So if you haven't been paying attention, Wonder Woman 84 should have been out. Like, right. Here's a movie that's been in the can.
We're like a lost year of comic book movies is basically what we're looking at here.
Right, a whole lost year.
The entire summer, all lost.
Yeah. So it started off at like 1 o'clock or I think noon, and it shot through. And the first thing that they announced was the final trailer for Wonder Woman, which is interesting because it's the final trailer of a movie that probably should have came out like 2 months ago. And then even then it was pushed back even another 6 months prior. Like it's been moved. And this is like the fourth move. But the final
reformat the DC verse, right? They had to figure out what they were going to want to do after the
right. So and we're going to definitely talk about that. But let's
look at this piece before DC tells us to take it down.
No, what's nice is they haven't been very.
Nobody's ever asked us to take anything down. We got like 4 people on here, right? They're all enjoying the show.
Yeah, so
this is great.
Final trailer, they're showing her, ride the lightning.
Flashback. Yep. It's so hard to like present DC characters because they're
pantheons, right?
They're gods on Earth.
On Earth.
And she's gonna punch a mugger? Is that what she's gonna do in the city? Like, what is this? She's got nothing better to do.
She can ride lightning with a golden lasso and punch the guy. That's right. So no spoilers so far from what I've seen, other than he's back, but at the same time,
that's a spoiler. But
they don't explain how or why or what.
Because death in the comic book universe is a revolving door. You just go through it and you pop right back out. You don't gotta. You gotta explain it beyond anything at all.
Tim, I hope go ahead and send it to him, please, so that they can watch. We can get some viewers up in this.
We'll take lawyers at this point, Tim. Yeah, bring them on.
Whatever happened with Black Widow? Yeah, that's a good one. That got pushed back. Hey, Rolls.
Get used to it.
So this was the first showing of Cheetah, Minerva.
Yep. Looks pretty damn cool.
I've never been one for rules. The answer is always more.
I'm with you here, right? I can't.
She's weird.
I can't quite shake her as Kristen Wiig, right? It's hard for me to.
Kristen Wiig is definitely kind of like she's not the action, the athletic woman, but it fits because that's the role that Minerva is, right? She's supposed to be like this kind of mousy person that wasn't anybody.
It's so weird because I know Cheetah, but I don't know her that well. And I read the Superhero High comic books to my daughter, right? The DC Superhero High ones. And Cheetah's like the bad girl in the school, right? And that's all I know about her, the high school version of Cheetah. So, is that... That's Rolls. You and every other nerd have made that joke, right?
Yeah. The future. Yeah, no, absolutely. Gal Gadot is.
She's. Maybe the best casting choice in all the comic book films was Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, right? She so perfectly embodies the character in my head now, better than any of the Bruce Waynes.
Yeah, she definitely looks it.
Superman. Right. Maybe Christopher Reeve will never change as Superman in my head, but. I think Gal Gadot is literally the perfect one, replacing Linda Carter in my canon, right?
Yeah, and she was on the stream as well. What was fun again? I talked about this event. They at the middle of the afternoon, the cast came back for a separate panel, and the entire cast and the directors played werewolf.
Okay, all right.
As opposed to werewolf, they
close their eyes and one of the villagers
hero and villain. So they did a Zoom. It was like a Zoom, setup with all the people's faces, and then obviously someone was the villain and someone was the hero or whatever, and they decided to play it live, and so it was fun. Like I was like, what is going on here?
Because you gotta fill time, and also that's the only thing you could do now, right? It's not like you can.
Fun that the fans interacted. They were all like, you got to see like sides of them and very different.
That's good fun.
Yeah,
that's good.
I thought that was interesting. Next bit of news. Again, I'm just gonna kind of hit the big highlights here. And this one was before they kind of announced this one. They had a smaller kind of showing, which was the return of Milestone Comics. And if you're unfamiliar with Milestone Comics was a line, a smaller line by DC that allowed smaller independent creators to create comics, and at the same time, a lot of them were minority characters. They were characters either black or Hispanic.
It was that boutique comic book shop where they tried out things without putting them
in the DC universe directly because they didn't want to affect the story arc or
why take a chance on a minority character, right? It was the 90s.
Right. It was the 90s. But DC said nope, that they're coming back, and so they will be launching in January, and they will be relaunching all of the original issues from Milestone, so all the old Static Shock.
So put them all in like a collection for you.
In a collection, you'll be able to get them digitally, etc. So that's kind of a big deal for a lot of it, because Static Shock is he was
Static Shock was a lightning dude.
Yeah, so
different from Black Lightning,
right?
Or his kids, right?
So this is a character kind of very based off that, but again, it wasn't DC originally. It was Milestone that was owned by DC. The character then went off to have a great animated series that was written by Paul Dini and was part of the Bruce Timm universe. So there were
no idea who Bruce Timm is.
So Bruce Timm, the creator of Batman the Animated Series.
Okay.
So his universe, what they call the Diniverse, or the Bruce Timm universe, which is Justice League, the Justice League cartoon, Justice League Unlimited, Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series. All of those are considered all under one universe. Like they all share a story arc. There is a timeline that fits.
Which DC's always been good about. all their shows
always been good about. Or
Sharehouse.
multiversing. They're always able to kind of like bring someone in and they'll always explain why this character exists here now. It's like, oh, you come from an alternate universe.
If you're fans of the show, I just tried to segue into multiverse because I know there's a movie or a character that they're going to star in the multiverse there, and Joe just blew right past it.
No, I did not. We're going to
try to lay up a little flash for you there if you want.
We're going to lay up a little flash in a second. We're going to get there absolutely with multiverse.
Exactly.
DC can't get any more convoluted. And that has been.
I like how DC has a built-in explanation for their characters having this, right? I think Marvel has this X-Men problem, right? That they need to figure out, and they've tried to solve a million different ways, but they haven't been able to figure it out, right? So, DC's just like, it's a multiverse, and guess what? Flash can travel between them, right?
Right. So that's an interesting one. That the Flash. So here's, without going into a bigger tangent than I'm already on, right?
This is your show, dude. It's about DC, right? And the second half will surprise no one, right? That's what.
Right. The second half will surprise no one. One of the biggest faults that I think I've seen in the movie, the DC versus Marvel versus whatever. One, of course, one of the big things that everyone notices or says is that the DC movies try to go too fast. Marvel laid everything out slow. It took them forever and ever. Like you had, 10 years ago, you had Iron Man 1 and then, slowly releasing movies. DC was like, let's release 3 movies and then Justice League, I get that. Because they released...
they were playing catch-up.
They were trying to play catch-up. And I think that's where one of the big fault is. They were trying to mimic and follow the formula, the Marvel formula.
Right.
And I think... the biggest
you can hear Joe rant about this in episode 27, 29, 32, 38, 40. We'll talk to our producer. I think at least like a third of our episodes.
Someone's got to make a wiki somewhere. So here's the big thing. And the Flash movie has been in production for a while. But here's the kind of big kind of like, wait a minute, why don't we do this? DC has always had multiverses. We've talked about this. So how do you make all their other movies part of the same universe?
Boom, done. Multiverse.
That's it. Multiverse. So the Flash character will now be the one character that ties everything, all old DC movies. Yeah. They will all be part of this one universe, including Michael Keaton Batman and Ben Affleck Batman, which will both be in the new Flash movie.
Michael Keaton Batman and Ben Affleck.
Michael Keaton Batman will make
For a minute, I forgot Ben Affleck was a goddamn Batman. I completely forgot. All right. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Just give me dope independent flicks. I'm with you, Vagabond Dog. It's too confusing at this point. I'm honestly, I'm tired of explaining all of these movies or constantly saying to my wife, I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
Can we just watch the movie together?
I mean, how do you not know who that is? God.
It was Aquaman that happened, and I was like, I don't know who this character is. They'll reveal it later. Let's just keep watching. So yeah.
So then we got another great reveal, which Batfleck. Was I still Batfleck is great, man. Like I have said multiple times that I think he played the role in a very different way. I think Ben Affleck in general was a bulkier Batman for sure. He's a grislier, older Batman, and
he was the dark, bitter Batman we needed.
Yeah, he was. There was more detective work in that version of Batman than all 3 of the previous the Dark Knight movies combined. So that was a big.
You don't think walking into Morgan Freeman's office and asking him to build a giant computer that allows him to spy on the entire city was detective work? That feels like a Batman detective work.
But he didn't do any of the work. He was like, hey, could you build that for me?
Well, that's the affluent Batman.
Yeah,
right?
affluent, for sure. And I appreciate all Batman movies as much as I know Tim is over there screaming, going, "What are you talking about?" Because we have conversations about how I have major problems with the.
Are we going to transition to the new one?
We Batman will. We're going to get there, but we're getting to Batman. And the next segue here was the release of the next DC video game, which was Gotham Knights, man. Like here's another game that we're getting, which is not connected to the Arkham Asylum games. This is being done by Warner Brothers Games Montreal. So this looks great. I'm gonna go. It's got like RPG elements. It looks like there's 4 characters you can pick from.
So is it cooperative?
Yes. You can play the entire campaign, and a character can hop in and out at any time.
All right. Okay. So it looks a little Assassin's Creed-y, right? Crawling on rooftops, jumping from side to side, seeing objectives here and there.
If you listen to the developer here, he talks a lot about how this could be played by yourself. Your buddy can hop into your campaign at any time and pick up any of the other 3 characters. You can what's another thing you can do?
That was pretty cool.
The leveling up system. He says that let's say you're fighting Mr. Freeze right now at level 5. Level 5 Mr. Freeze is very different than if you come back at level 30 and try to fight Mr. Freeze.
Different skills unlock and things like that.
Everything will go up.
I like how they're taking elements that was in World of Warcraft and EverQuest 10,000 years ago and being like, hey, look, a new idea we just thought up, right?
There we go. What is old is new again.
What is old is new again. We're learning how to develop games all over again. All right, I can get behind this. I have zero interest in all the Robins though. That's the weird part. Like,
really, Robin. See, that's how I know you're an older school. The Robin characters who we made fun of, kind of like when we were growing up, we're like, Robin. He's kind of within the late 90s and the early aughts. The Robin characters have become amazing with Teen Titans. With Jason Todd, with Dick Grayson, with Tim Drake.
I didn't grow up with the Robin. I didn't grow up with the important Robin central to the story. So it's a very
the Robin you grew up with was Robin in the Green Booties.
Green Booties, and then Joker kills him, I think, at some point. At that point, I had given
Jason Todd. That's already second Robin.
Yep, the second Robin is there, and then I remember like a Nightwing Robin, barely.
Yep,
and then that's it. Who's in here, right? Nightwing Robin's in here,
so we get 3 different Robins in this.
Red Hood, is it Red Hood Robin?
So Red Hood is going to be Jason Todd. We have Nightwing, and we have which is Dick Grayson, and then we have Tim Drake.
That's the last Robin.
We have Damian, which is the last, which is Batman's son, as the youngest Robin.
Batman has a son?
Yeah.
God, I am out of the loop.
Yeah, Damian Wayne. So here's the split. You can be kind of playing. One character can go off and do part of the mission as another. It's an open world.
All right, so you can plan your heist, basically.
Right.
And then you just vigilante your way through
right, and so they talk about there's 2 ways to play. One player can really kind of go run and gun, and the other one can use the stealth tactics. I mean, this is a formula that we've seen, right?
That's Batman Beyond, though, right? I've seen that cartoon.
Yes,
that was a good cartoon. That was a good cartoon. I remember that cartoon.
I'm really hoping we get Michael Keaton.
I was like grumpy, mean Batman guy. Yeah, I'm down with this. Let's watch this. I can look up to you.
So yeah, this looks great. We got another.
It looks fun. This is a pre-build, though, right? Because I feel like
it's completely alpha. There's some slowdowns.
At least they're showing gameplay, right? That's 2020 gameplay is crazy, but yeah,
the formula's there. I think
not crazy at all. It's a wild dream. Dream big, right? Because Batman Beyond would be an awesome game to play.
It would totally be an awesome game to play for sure. I can't imagine them not do it. I mean, if we're getting a secondary like line of the Spider-Man game for PlayStation 4 as Miles Morales, kind of a special campaign, I can't imagine them not go, why don't we do a separate campaign as Batman Beyond?
Yeah, and if there's a leveling up system in this, they can totally add characters all day long. DLC, DLC, right?
The Batman family in general is huge.
Right? Aren't there more like there's like 35
Batman
other
works alone, except when he doesn't, which is with everyone, right?
Yeah.
He's got the biggest family out of us.
Look, you can't help but like dig at him. You can't help it.
I love him to death. He punches a big old noogie. Obviously, there's going to be obviously, and take my.
It's weird. I would have said the same thing about Borderlands 3, but they're disappointing us, right?
They announced the final one, but no extra characters. So far.
Right, I know they did not give us the DLC characters that we all expected, at least 2, right? They've done it all the other times too.
Yeah. Pop. Yeah. So here we go. Like this is kind of like a small boss, and
looks great.
Yeah,
looks great. Excited for this game. Yep.
So this comes out next year. This is not coming out for current systems. This is PS5 and Xbox.
Yeah, this is obviously next gen.
Yeah, next gen for sure.
All right, no more spoilers. Move on. Let's go.
So yeah, that looks great. It's a fantastic game. So that's one.
Looks good. Let us know what you think. Are you excited for this? I'm excited for cooperative campaigns with some stealth action. That feels like a blast.
Yes, I'm excited.
I've been starving for cooperative games for a while now. So
co-op, it looks like both of the games that were announced are co-op, and the
are you going to show this one? Yeah, show it. Because confession, I thought this was the new Suicide Squad movie.
It looks.
I was like, is this the movie? It looks like a different actor. What's happening here?
So here is Rocksteady's games, which is the maker of the Arkham series, creators of the Batman Arkham. And here was their game. Now, this is an interesting tidbit because this game was announced, and I'm excited for it. But this game doesn't come out till 2022.
I know. I was like, that's a really long wait. Why are they previewing this here? Yeah. And yeah, Bug Thug Darth. Pumped for these games. I mean, I know which system I'm going to buy, right? I mean, there's no surprise if you're a fan of the show. It's going to be the Xbox.
I'll get them all.
Right? And then our man Afroman's going to have all the systems, and then he's going to be sad that no one's playing with him, right? Because he's always on a different system from everyone else.
For sure. That's how it works. I set myself up for failure on purpose.
Yeah. So I was watching this on my phone, right? Which is already kind of the worst way to watch a trailer. And I'm watching this, and I'm like, is this the new movie? What is happening here? And here we are.
I can see the CG is good enough, and seeing the mouth and all. I was like, "Oh man, what is this?" I would pay to see this version of the Suicide movie.
But all they've done is a video. I mean, there's no
gameplay.
No gameplay.
But it's really good. DC's always been good with their animated movies, so getting them to kind of make an animated kind of cutscene trailer is.
Yeah, I'm with you, Vagabond. There's a little bit of uncanny valley for sure. Yeah. But imagine you're looking on a phone with your glasses off and you don't know it was going to be a game, right? There's a moment there where your brain's like, wait, this isn't the movie. This is a game. And it wasn't until what is his name? Bullseye? Bullet Head?
Yeah.
Shooter guy? Never misses dude. What's his name? Deadshot. That's it.
Bullet Boy. I love it.
There's like a million characters in all of the Marvel comic universes that do this, right?
AKA 90's.
Yeah, never miss a shot kind of characters. Yeah,
also, you think Andre 3000?
Is it Andre 3000?
Oh, yeah. All
right, that's fair.
This is definitely Outcast.
Was Will Smith too busy making Shadowrun style movies for Netflix? Is that what was happening?
Yes.
Police orcs? Is that what he was doing? I love it. Guns, flamethrower out of the butt.
So this game, the developer talked about it afterwards. This is a 4-player co-op game.
Looks a little bit like it reminds me that zombie game, Left 4 Dead.
Yeah. So
if this is gameplay, right, where you're just gonna shoot nukes until
pick your character, and every character is like you've got strength, you've got speed, you've got the Spider-Man-y one, and then you've got the bullet guy, which is him.
You got the bullet guy, which you always need to have a bullet guy.
You always have to have a bullet guy. He's the speedster. She's great. Like using the grappling hook is going to be just phenomenal, bouncing around. And it's open world, is what they said.
Oh, it's going to be open world. All right, I can get behind
Metropolis. That. So no longer Gotham City, but Metropolis. And of course, without Metropolis, you got to have Big Blue.
So how do you feel about this? This is
this is almost cliche. I've talked about this before. I'm tired of Superman as the villain, but obviously they can't kill Superman. I mean, they make the joke here, like. No hype. I get it. Vagabond, I get it. No hype. But the problem is I'm a big DC fan, so this gets me hype.
I like how they're all like, oh, geez, that's shocking.
Yeah. I mean, this is almost cliche at this point, right? Who's the big baddie in the DC universe? Superman.
Yeah. Well, because they have the problem where there's no big baddie that Superman can't beat at this point, right? Like, is there even one villain that Superman can't beat?
Darkseid.
But he's beat him a bunch of times already, right? Like,
but he's never killed him or removed him completely.
Because Superman doesn't kill anybody,
right?
Except in Zack Snyder films.
Except as it needed to happen. He has killed. He has killed in the comics. He's killed.
Zod. No. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care
for sure.
So I mean, I'm excited for 4-player co-op games that we can all play together, right? This COVID crisis has exposed to me how few games there are to play cooperatively. Fun games online that aren't PvP centered, right? There's not enough just fun cooperative games where you can talk shit and play games, right? I just missed that.
Yeah. So I'm excited for this one. That was a great one. And speaking of Suicide Squad, the next announcement was, of course, you had the new movie, which is going to be.
So are we getting a trailer? Because like I didn't really need to see a bunch of stars talk about how awesome they are. Like I watched this thing and I was like, "What is this? Come on, yeah, no,
for sure."
It's going to be different from
Also,
any superhero movie ever.
I mean, is James Gunn going to get in front of the camera and be like, "I made a piece of shit. This is a garbage movie. Please go see it anyway." Like none of these people are going to sit there and say that. So
of course not.
But show me the trailer. This
Jim
is
Lee-
where I'm with you,
Jim Lee-
Vagabond. No gameplay, no hype. I am not hyped for the film at all. It's just a bunch of people talking about how awesome they did making a movie. Show me the movie. Show me the movie. Show me the movie. Show me the trailer of the film. Show me the behind the scenes action.
I think what's great here is
it's like, hey, welcome to my kitchen. I made a fantastic freaking meal. No, you can't eat it yet. No, I'm going to talk about it. And my staff here did a good job. I don't want to see this. Come on, show me the movie. Who cares about producers?
Is this your first day about marketing? Like,
Captain America.
Are you new here?
No, I'm used to trailers. I'm used to trailers that are 4 minutes long and show everything.
Come on, buddy. Capitalism, baby.
That dude has some guns, man.
Oh yeah, John Cena, baby. You can't see him. I don't understand. All I see is a red suit. I don't understand.
Everyone's exploding. Genitals, heads, arms, legs.
That guy's hilarious. I can't ever hear his voice without laughing my face off. So
it's freaking hilarious. But here's the thing about this movie. Is one from what Jim Lee said in a different panel. He was talking about how he let James Gunn kind of through the archives, and he said, okay, and he basically took the top characters, the top villains, and went, okay, now who are the trash ones? Who are the ones that haven't like had any representation whatsoever? And so the fact that he picked out Polka Dot Man, like
so that guy wasn't wearing a CGI costume. That's an actual character, Polka Dot Man. All right, okay.
His name is Polka Dot Man.
That's kind of funny. I mean, but again,
funny, but you also have to think about James Gunn, and he made 2 Guardian of the Galaxy movies.
Yeah.
So he definitely knows how to do the teen movie, and when you saw the list of actors in it, you're like, this is too many. How can you pull it off? And then you realize, wait, this is Suicide Squad. How many of them are going to actually make it?
Yeah, it's going to be like Deadpool when he assembled his party and they all died in their life. If you haven't seen Deadpool 2, sorry, they die.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm down with it. I just wanted to see a nice trailer, right? Like the video game trailer was better than that particular hype sequence. So
we for me. No, that's fine. That's totally fine. They don't have a finalized trailer to kind of show off yet. So whatever. I think COVID stopped them with that. The filming was slowed down.
Do you think that's what happened? That they didn't actually finish filming because they were doing explosions in those shots.
Yeah, that's definitely, you can see that's one big scene, right? Like they've got like the one jungle scene.
Let's talk about fans of the show. Tim, I spoil everything.
He does. The Rock light. Oh, what? Well, speaking of The Rock, thank you, Caleb, for bringing that in.
Rock light.
Bringing that in. Speaking of Rock light.
Ultra.
Rock light, baby.
Low calorie version. Oh, okay. All right. Good transition. Good transition.
So
who is this?
So we're not going to talk about
who this is.
So we have to talk about the fact that The Rock has been attached to a Black Adam movie for the past 10 years.
Oh, is that what is going on? Okay. All right.
Yes. So Black Adam is finally happening. Here is production art. This is as low. You're talking about no gameplay, no hype. This is it right here. This is like production art. It's been 10 years of production for this movie.
This is like the envelope I sent in with my fan letter. This is not.
So sibling. This is exactly it. This is a pitch for a movie to the public, telling them that hey, he is still working on it. The directors are still on it.
Still working on it.
But The Rock wanted to do this. This wasn't even like
Gray Adam.
Well, I mean, what's perfect about that bringing that character is the whole purpose of Black Adam is he's over 1,000 years old, right?
Okay.
The character was a man like Shazam, he was given the power of the gods to help his people. He then went full on like dictator towards it. Well,
So he's Injustice Superman before Injustice Superman?
He's Shazam.
He's Injustice Shazam.
Yeah, right. He's bad guy, but in the way that like he's not really a bad guy. He's more like, I do everything only for my people. Like, I am the leader of my people. My people come first. My people must thrive. All other countries can burn. Is kind of what it works. So he's a bad guy, but not to his people. So in the DC universe, in the comic, he is the president and ruler of a country. Like,
oh, okay.
And he doesn't touch anybody. He's kind of like Dr. Doom in a way, where like sitting there on a throne in his own country and like, I'm Doom. He's an anti-hero. Thank you. That's
is
exactly
he like a 90s anti-hero though, where he crushes heads, or is he like fascist dictator anti-hero? Where
he's an eye for an eye. Like, he's definitely like, he's like Egyptian in that sense. So anywho, he's 1,000 years old, and he can't turn off his power.
Mm-hmm.
If he says the word to turn it off, he ages immediately and dies.
Ah, okay, all right.
So you know how in the movie Shazam or the comic book Shazam, Captain Marvel, when he says the word Shazam, he's a little boy and he turns into Shazam. That's it. The Rock is that version of him. There is someone else inside of him at one point, but it's been over 1,000 years. So
that person's long gone. He's just power at this point. I get it.
Power. So that's what's interesting about the character as well. So this movie's weird. It's an anti-hero movie. We've already had a Shazam movie. I don't know where it fits, but we're gonna have this.
Yeah, do we really need a fascist dictator presented by the smiling face of Rock movie?
He's been wanting to play this character for forever, so no one's gonna say no to The Rock.
I mean, The Rock doesn't say no to anything anyway, because he's been in some real winners of films. Okay,
I love it. He's like Nicolas Cage, but likable. So yes, thank you. That's exactly what I was getting to. One of the big things is this movie is definitely going to be a time-setting movie. While yes, he's 1,000 years old, it looks like it's going to be set maybe in the 40s or so, and they are bringing in the JSA, the Justice Society of America, and so you're going to have Atom Smasher, you're going to have Hawkman. You're going to have a couple more characters. Again, DC's kind of bringing out characters, kind of like Marvel did, where they brought characters that no one cared about. Like, no one cared about Guardians of the Galaxy until they made a movie.
I liked Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, you did. I did, but like,
I mean, but I was much more of a sci-fi fan, right? So I enjoyed the space travel sort of weirdness of Guardians of the Galaxy, and Rocket Raccoon has always been one of my favorites. So
yes, right, exactly. All of this makes sense. I think DC needs to pull out. I think this is smart for them. Just get other movies with other characters out. Build their brand. Everyone knows Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman. And everyone knows some of the minor other characters besides them, but there's DC has a big list of characters that they can pull from.
Are we never going to talk about Green Lantern? Is that?
I think Green Lantern is definitely happening.
Is he the Fantastic Four of the DC universe? Is that like...
And I like that movie in its very like weird way. Like I have fun watching that movie.
Oh, come on, you won't say a bad thing about any movies. Come on,
I love it. So we're going to talk about
the big smoke monster. Did you find a big monster?
God, yeah, it's totally the worst. The worst. So the Fantastic Four fought a giant smoke monster too.
That's what I'm saying. Are they the same film with different comic book?
They are. Galactus was a giant smoke galaxy. How sad was that? Yes, thank you. The HBO Max TV show. They are making a Green Lantern TV show that was not talked about. Everyone was kind of like, that was the elephant in the room. Like,
is that going to overlap with the rest of the CW universe?
We don't know. So the CW had its own event the next day, and they introduced the seasons for the next shows, etc. Stargirl, Black Lightning, all that stuff. So again,
is there another season of Black Lightning coming? That's exciting. All right, awesome.
Yeah, and there will be some more crossovers.
You can't say never, because everyone has nothing but time inside to create crazy ideas for movies. And
Blue
DC
is such a great character too. Like Booster Gold, Blue Beetle movie. When it'll happen. Now's
the time for it too. We need those are the heroes we need. I think
that is the buddy cop time traveling movie we all freaking need for sure.
I don't disagree with you on that.
It's a great movie, and DC sees it. They've made reference to it in animated movies. They know the characters exist. They just got to get the right people and the right script written, and it'll happen. I believe in that. I believe in it. The two big announcements though at this event were easily the
Oh, I mean, those weren't the big announcements.
No,
You know, if you talk about Zack effing Snyder one more freaking time, I know you get one sentence to talk about Zack Snyder. One sentence.
that's
Here's my cut of a terrible film. Thanks. Enjoy.
let's don't hate, man. You can hate all you want. This movie's gonna be great.
I mean, because your baseline is so freaking low.
I
Joe.
know,
Your
right?
baseline is so low.
God, hold on. Oh, I've watched this trailer like 15 times at least today.
Really?
So, yeah. This movie was interesting because when they brought Joss Whedon in, the cut of the movie that we got was like an hour and 90 minutes or hour and 70 minutes long. It's like 100 minutes. Like, it's very short. And he refilmed some parts, so he brought his own footage in. Zack Snyder has 4 hours of footage that he's using to make his cut.
That's great. I can't wait to be like strapped in Orange style and forced to watch 4 hours of Zack Snyder garbage.
Miniseries.
It's a freaking miniseries. So he hobbited it. He took a.
It's gonna be 1 hour episodes or movies or whatever per day or whatever, and then it'll eventually there will be a 1 4 hour cut for the fans. But that's a way that he created bite sized.
That's oh my god, I can't. Wow.
And you know what? This was all fan created. He talks about how the fans created this. The Snyder movement, the where's the Snyder cut was this hashtag. I mean, there was billboards paid for by fans. I mean, it was a big deal. And Warner listened.
I'm so upset that they used this song for a DC film with Zack Snyder in charge of it. Like, I cannot believe they used this song.
It feeds me because I'm getting my movie.
I mean, you're getting a movie. This isn't your movie.
It's mine.
The Snyder Cut movie. Shut your face.
It's mine, baby.
I want that on a shirt.
Shut your face, Tiger. I'm so beyond hype for this. Like, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see
this trailer felt 4 hours long.
Hashtag the Snyder Cut, baby. It's finally happened.
Guys probably fought hundreds of thousands of other super beings on the other planets he's destroyed, right? And we have to assume he's won.
I don't care how many demons he's fought and how many hells. He's never fought us.
United, baby. Yeah. Woo! Feed me with those eye rolls, baby. Feed me. Oh, so good.
I mean, I probably there's one director out there that can polish a turd. It's Zack Snyder, so he's going to really make that shine, really shine.
Justice League. It won't be as bad as Justice League. You know what's interesting about Justice League?
I enjoy Justice League, but I had no expectations. My baseline was so low, I couldn't help but enjoy it. You know,
I don't mind it either, only because I got to see all my characters on.
Who is the villain in that? I don't even remember. Like Beethoven. What the hell was his name? Bartleby? What's this?
Oh my god, I can't even remember his name now. He's one of the 4 horsemen for Darkseid. I can't even remember right now.
He had like this ridiculous name. Was it Remp?
Oh my god, you totally getting back on Avengers. Look at this right there, baby. Yeah, of course, always got to do it. No, yeah, maybe, man. I don't know. You know what? He also did some very inappropriate.
Steppenwolf. That's it. Is it Steppenwolf? Bug. Thank you, Bug Thug.
Thank you, Bug. Thank you. That's a DC fan right there. Steppenwolf. Yeah, absolutely. He's a great villain, but he
was not in that movie.
Not in that movie. Like,
no.
He was like, he just came in. I'm supposed to hate this guy, but not really. He comes in like, and then by the
was too busy hating Affleck, I think is what happened. The jokes are so easy. It's so easy. Years later, coming up.
And, let's just go into the final bit of news for DC Fandom. Again, look how much information they gave us that day, and of course, it couldn't have been without the trailer for the movie that everyone needs to apologize to Rob Pattinson right now for sure.
Because he's all right. Yeah, all right.
Everyone was like, he won't look good as Batman. And the moment I see him in the suit, I'm going to hate it. There's been nothing but love on the internet for this trailer.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah. This is a fantastic trailer. Lots of little clips. You even read the article about the riddle and the producer.
I didn't even know there was a riddle until the riddle was already solved.
Someone solved the riddle in this trailer.
I watched this trailer and I was like, is Riddler the villain? Is that what I'm looking at here? Who's the
Yep,
villain?
that's absolutely right. Great casting right there.
Who's that? I don't even know who that is.
Commissioner Gordon.
Haven't a clue.
That was Commissioner Gordon? Ah.
Let's play a game.
Or he's not commissioner
Yeah,
yet.
there's the code, right? There's that one snippet. People solved the riddle from that one snippet, right? It is so intense the way people manage this stuff, man. Yeah, I watched the trailer.
The bat is made out of a halved gun.
Becoming quite celebrity.
Oh, is that's right? I remember that. Yeah.
This movie is filmed in the night. It's apparently set in the late 90s, is what they're saying. I thought.
So that dude right there, that's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, Rob Pattinson.
Oh, all right.
That's Colin Farrell, by the way.
That's Colin Farrell?
Yeah, the big guy. That's Colin Farrell with makeup on as the Penguin. That's Oswald Cobblepot.
All right, and who's playing Catwoman?
Zoe Kravitz.
That's right, Zoe Kravitz. So these guys aren't Joker dudes? I know,
No.
it was like I was playing a video game. I really appreciated the combo there.
Everyone's waiting for the line. I'm vengeance, baby. Like that line was just so. Mwah.
And he says it in I am vengeance and the rain's coming down. I can't wait for the gifts for that one.
That's Colin Farrell.
Yeah, I mean it looked like another Dark Batman, which I'm always excited for more Dark Batmans.
But it's okay, so
can we make it darker?
No, but what they're making it a crime movie, as in it's the China Connection. What is it? Chinatown and it's a couple other movies that he's referencing, like 70s cop movies, like kind of the
Serpico.
Kind of the Serpico,
I can get behind that.
Chinatown, the Taxi Driver.
Because Enigma he worked in the police department, right? He was.
I mean, depending on which version of you want to run with, but yes,
fair.
Again, multiverse.
Right. I'm like, wait, no, did he? I don't actually know. Yeah, no, that's fair. So I get behind it. I mean, it looks good. It looks really violent, which I don't know as I get older.
Bullseye. he never played Bullseye. What are you talking about?
Oh my God, did he? He did, didn't he? Wait,
in the Ben Affleck version of Daredevil.
Why did we name this episode after Ben Affleck? I'm just curious. Episode 90, we've dropped his name more often than anyone else.
I mean, who else embodies the 90s more than Ben Affleck?
That's true. I mean, I guess that short dude that he always hangs out with, who's done a bunch of Bourne movies, right?
Daredevil doesn't exist. I'm with you on that. You know, I remember watching the director's cut to that movie, and
of course you watched the director's cut.
I watched the director's cut of the movie but I watched it with the commentary because he's got a real big ego. And what's great about it is there's the scene where the first like crime scene with Daredevil's like markings or whatever, and the cop goes and he throws the lighter and throws it down and it makes the Daredevil logo in flame.
I remember that from the trailer.
And I was like, when you hear the director talk about that, he actually says, "So I was watching The Crow, and I saw The Crow do it, and I thought it was pretty cool, so I put it in my movie."
It's like the oh my God.
I can't believe that he said that.
Kevin Smith has a story that's like that, where like the giant spider appears in Wild Wild West.
The Superman Lives story.
That's
where
right.
He talks about the spider in the third act.
So wait, so in the quest for the absolute worst Marvel Comics film, is it Ghost Rider or Daredevil?
Wait, no.
I thought Joe froze for a second there.
We saw Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four is just bad.
No, we're not.
Ghost Rider and Daredevil on a whole other level. So
you're talking about like campy bad?
I'm talking about almost unwatchable bad.
Well, unwatchable is that fantastic movie, the third Fantastic Four movie, the reboot one that
is it really?
It's
I guess I haven't finished it. But have you rewatched Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider, the first one? I rewatched it recently. I'm like, this is not good.
My favorite part is
bad.
That he walks up to him and he's like, "Monster." Every time I see the monster, I was like, what is going on? Why? Ghost Rider is bad.
Ghost
will
Rider
say,
is
though,
objectively bad. The special effects are bad. The character's bad. Nicolas Cage like dialed it in for 100 miles away. He barely delivered a character that was watchable.
what the jelly beans? That was his. Remember that? Like that was his thing.
Oh, I don't even. The motors. Everything about that movie was terrible. Everyone forgets about Elektra because that movie.
Yeah, that's
fair.
That's fair.
That's fair.
But see, Elektra had a plot. I love that. But see, yeah, that's. You make a good point, Bug.
It's a well-reasoned argument, Buck. You want movies to tell a story and have something beginning, a middle, and an end. Yeah.
I said I watched the director's cut. If you watch the director's cut of Daredevil,
I don't understand how you have it on DVD so you could watch the director's cut. Is that?
There is a separate storyline, a separate subplot that was removed where he actually has to do lawyering, and Coolio is the person he's defending, and he has to get him off, off.
That's as 90s as can be. That's
good.
Yeah,
like so it's like Coolio sitting in a prison suit with his like hair all like Coolio'd out, and Murdoch has to like defend him. I can't even yes. Man.
Yeah. We're not doing phrasing on the show, Vagabond Dog. So has to get him off of the jail court case coming his way.
Time. Thank you, Vagabond. Thank you. They tried to act. That movie's bad. Although to be fair, I did like his portrayal of Kingpin.
Kingpin? How do we ever? I feel like I need to watch.
Is it Michael Clark Duncan or is it Ving Rhames? I always get too confused. It's Michael Clark Duncan, right?
I don't know. Is it who does it in the new series?
Well, that's
it's a different guy. That's the guy that's forever burned into my brain for Kingpin. So
I'm bad.
I overwrote it. Like I saved over that Daredevil file. I barely remember the original the movies anymore. Barely remember them.
So I think that's it for DC. We've got
It only occupied 40 minutes of our show.
But I do want to talk about something else real quick, and it because 90s in general, DC, the 90s, woo. It is the 25th anniversary, which is I thought it was hilarious that I brought this up in pre-show, and he's like, "What is it? Why does this matter?
What does this matter?"
25th anniversary to Windows 95.
Yeah, Windows 95, everybody. For all of you that are old enough to remember the release of an OS that nobody cared about today on computers that you probably replaced very quickly after you got them from 95, right? 25 years since Windows 95 changed the game. This is what Joe's going to lecture us on for the next 2 minutes. 95 changed the game.
So Windows 95, again, it's funny. I mean, no one cares about 95. 98 was far superior. Obviously, even that was problematic in its own, but I mean, it was the beginning of the PC, gaming, PC genre, PC popularity in general. Windows 98. I mean, everyone stuck with Windows 98 for years and years. Until 98 to 2001, but even then, people stuck with 98 for years longer. And I'm trying to pull this up here. Windows 98 was definitely better, but 95 did some things that it was the beginning. Like when we talk about computers, PC, it's just the PC master race of video games and whatever. Without 95, we wouldn't have things like DirectX, which had a 3D API, which allowed video game manufacturers to create one language to write for video game, for 3D.
That feels important.
At one point in time, Windows 95, there was a time where you would release a game and you had to release a version specifically for 3D effects, specifically for Power VR, specifically for Silicon, for Labs cards. So you had different EXE files, different actual game files that were written for specific manufacturer cards. DirectX changed that, having Microsoft create a 3D API. Everyone else got to feed into it. So it's interesting to see now. Yes, 95 is the forgotten kind of brother to 98, but it definitely is important to kind of see Windows 95 there kind of created, kind of started up.
I mean, you and Joe need to get together on this, Vagabond, because for me, like 95 was an OS. I don't know that I celebrate the passages of OSs. I just upgraded to the new ones and moved on. But folks, Joe's got me convinced this is an important one just because of DirectX. I remember having trouble with my graphics cards when I used to build computers back in the day, and it wouldn't work with certain games.
So let's look back
at this
here.
Gateway, the Gateway 2000. Wow, this is.
Yeah. So let's look back here real quick.
Having flashbacks.
This is this individual right here. He's called Tech Tangents. I wanted to just share his channel and make sure he gets a plug. I'm using his footage here, but he just recently did a build. He rebuilt a Gateway 2000 and reinstalled 95 and kind of did a whole build on it, which was kind of inspired me to talk about it because I had been doing the same with Windows 98 machines. But he goes through the entire process of installing and loading drivers and whatnot, and the pain and heartache kind of get all this working.
Dude, you're gonna have flashbacks watching this if you ever built your own computer and how much you had to do before you could even start her up.
Yeah, just like Vagabond said, if you remember Windows 3.1 and remember what Windows or even operating systems or OSs were like, I remember getting to my copy of like Warcraft 1, and you couldn't play it in Windows. No. It was a DOS game.
You loaded it up from DOS. Yep.
Windows. So what you did is you installed it, then you exit out of Windows, go into DOS, type in CD space Warcraft and then war.exe or whatever, and then you would load your game.
I know. It's like what's the Rick and Morty joke? What do you do? Windows comes to you and says, "What do you do?" It's like you load up America Online. Like you don't do anything else. You didn't do anything in Windows. You went on America Online or you went to DOS.
You couldn't even have browsers. Like this game preloaded with an actual internet browser. Yeah. And we didn't have that in Windows 3.1. You had to load Internet Explorer 1 and 2.
Or all the lawsuits regarding walled gardens, and here we are 30 years later, or 25 years later.
Right. Doom 2.
That's that setup of walled gardens.
That's good that you brought that up because there's my copy of Doom 2. My copy of Doom 2. This is the CD version, not the diskette version, but it is the original.
Don't worry, he's got one with the wrap around it. For the
record. Of course. But Doom 2 was like that. You'd pop it in and you'd install it, and it was a DOS game. So if you played it, you couldn't play it in Windows. You had to exit. So Windows 95 allowed you to kind of double click it, run it within Windows, and exit out of DOS games. It gave you a proper OS shell. And so I think it's important. Yes, it means nothing nowadays. Windows 95, everyone just wants 98. XP was obviously better, but we have to think about the transition of how PC usage changed at this point. Like, do you remember loading up a word processing program in DOS, like WordPerfect?
Oh, dude. Yes, I do.
Right. But being able to double click and have a window open and have something else open other than having to exit out of your entire word processing program.
Oh, yeah. No, I do remember all of this. I remember learning it in computer lab at school. Right. This is the ridiculous thing here.
But yeah, this was the beginning of, and you have to think about 3D gaming in general. Like if we talk about some of these 3D games here, these were all games.
That shelf. Oh. And then Flight Simulator. Flight Simulator was on the shelf there. Did you all see it?
Sonic CD, the PC version, was actually a very good version of the game.
Why would you just play this on the Genesis, though? I don't.
You didn't have to. If you didn't, you already had a computer, your family computer that did work.
Listen, you did not already have a computer when you bought a Windows 95 system. Like you didn't already have. This was your first computer, probably for a lot of folks.
Well, for a lot of folks. And here's Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is interesting because it's the 25th anniversary of Windows, and they just released Flight Simulator all over again, and it looks exactly the same.
It's exactly the same. Boeing 747 has not changed their cockpit at all. Same image, same controls. Crashes your computer just as often now as it did back then, right?
So even pre-show, we were talking about this and looking at these games, and we're like, "Oh wow, those games don't look too bad. They look like PlayStation."
Same floppy disks, simply. There you go.
But here's the thing: is again, this is '95 when this game came out. These games were coming out, and yet PlayStation came out later or earlier, and the games look very different. We had accelerated 3D graphics on PC. We didn't have that on console.
Here's the game that ruined all games ever.
Myst?
Pixel Hunt 9000. Yes,
oh my god.
A whole genre of games where you had to find a clue, tiny little
dot, and it didn't glow or anything.
You were not done, Vagabond Dog. You just did not think like the developers thought.
Do you remember the parody?
You had to really think like them.
Do you remember the parody Pissed?
No, I don't remember the parody.
So there was a parody of it called Pissed, Pysst, and it was a parody game. I think it was made by the same people that made After Dark.
Okay, all right.
Saber with the flying toasters. But yeah, man, like
that's hilarious. System Shock, classic one.
I had to do a call out. There's an operating system that ran a lot of these older games, and again, it wouldn't have happened without an operating system. Sure. And you said before we started the show, you said you had switched over to Mac at this point, right?
Yeah. So I one of the interesting things about Joe and I is that I'm 4 years ahead of him, right? So I actually was my first year of college in '95, and I switched to Mac, right? So I didn't really. I had a Windows 95 computer during the summer, right? But I did not really experience that life. I didn't do the gaming lifestyle. I wasn't the beginnings of the PC Master Race. All those games there I'm familiar with, but I didn't play them because I was on a Mac and I was in college and doing other
Macs
things.
have no games, bruh.
No, they had no games. They had no games.
Yeah, Cautious was the Mac.
So my campus.
Oh, we dropped him. All right. Another time. He must have hit something. I think this is. My sister would have been the counter and said this has happened only 5 other times.
Do we have?
Boom! There it was.
Do we have this? Can we throw up what is the counter now? We have 5. We have 5.
5 times this has ever happened. But yeah, no, your campus had what?
My campus was a Mac campus, like every college campus in the '90s, right? So we were a Mac campus, and it was just easier to connect the Mac. It was like I don't even remember that. It was.
You went to a high. What was your undergrad?
Are we pimping my undergrad college? Is that what we're doing? Yeah. I went to Vassar College in Poughkeepsie, New York, ladies and gentlemen.
He went to Vassar. He's a Vassar boy.
Graduated '99. I'm a Vassar girl. Go Brewers! Right?
Yep, 5.
Thank you, Wolf Lauren.
I have to put it out there that Mac was not a cheap cheap line to go to back then.
No.
This was the beginning of like Mac kind of being different. It was the Think Different campaign in the early 90s, etc.
It was like an $1,100 computer in 1995. Like, it was ridiculous how much I paid for it. And the screen was like this big, and the laptop itself was like this big. It weighed like 12 pounds. What color was it? It was black gray.
So you had an old one of the old Power Books.
Yeah. And two LC. I just remember something about it. Yeah. I had to take it to like TechServe in New York City to get it fixed once. It was pretty.
No one worked on Macs around you, probably. It was a Mac campus, and no one in the around the campus area.
I wasn't working in the computer center, and I didn't know how to fix Macs. That was. I was like, oh, you better get a new one, bro. I don't know. I'm gonna go back to playing Grand Theft Auto here because we figured out how to run it on the Mac. So
must have been one of those new Intel Macs that they were coming out on. Oh God. No, yeah, so that's a big deal, but yeah, that's a big difference. I thought we talked about this pre-show for the 4-year difference. His 4 years in college were my 4 years in high school.
Yeah, so you were burning hours on the computer while I was, being educated in this Vassar. But my computer experience was a lot of America Online during the summer, enjoying that sort of stuff. And
America Online for me was just downloading using bots and going into chat rooms and asking for stuff.
Right, pretending to be hot chicks to 40-year-old men looking for, that's
ASL, baby. Yes. ASL.
All about the ASL. Good times.
18 credits, no thesis education. What?
Oh, so Vassar, I was a political science, and it's actually 10 units, no thesis is what I did. Those were the names of our softball teams because they played against each other. 10 units, no thesis. So I only had to take 10 courses because each course was a unit. I didn't have to write a thesis. That was my, get your education on. It was great.
No, absolutely not. Your college years. What are you talking about?
No, his high school. He graduated. We were 4 years apart.
2000. 2000 and 99. 2000 was I was 2000. So like
your high school 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, class of 2000.
Yeah, because you got them with every one of your PC Gamer magazine. You got them with like every one of your PC magazines came with America Online, discus frisbees in the parking lot. It's at the drugstore.
Who logged in on their 95 machine, created a whole new account every time, and added a new number to the end of it. Knowing that you were just gonna keep creating a new account, you're like, oh, don't message me with that screen name. I'm almost out of hours on that one.
I'm at 7 now. Hit me up with 8.
You're picking up stacks of discs, stacks of floppies. AWOL 4.0 just came out, buddy. Woo! Oh God. Yep. So when was your first PC game? Your gaming PC?
I want to say. Let me see. So I was playing
Like you have to play Doom games or like DOS games before, right? Like you played.
Yeah, I had to play DOS games. I want to say like I played XCOM a lot, right? And Civ a lot on the PCs back then. X-Wing was my big way. I had to get the PC to actually run and work. The very first X-Wing. I think TIE Fighter was a TIE Fighter, the second one that came out. Those were the ones I really had to.
TIE Fighter,
yeah. And then running any game after that, I had to constantly add new parts to the computer and scrape by and get what I could. I couldn't wait to move to consoles. This was my life where I was like, I just replaced this graphics card. How does it not work?
I played Oregon Trail, right? So he was in middle school and I was in elementary school. So everyone had like computer lab time.
Oh yeah, we all played Oregon Trail.
We all played Oregon Trail. So this was.
But my high school had a genius who figured out how to install Civilization on all the lab computers. So that's pretty much what we did whenever the teacher wasn't looking. Right? It was like buried. You had to know the code. You had to be friends with them to get.
You weren't playing Drone Wars?
No, we were not playing. Civilization was all. It was the start of a wonderful relationship with Civilization all the way up there. But I played games. I played games on the Commodore 64, which was my first gaming PC. Right?
That counts, man.
That was my first gaming PC.
The Commodore 64 is a fantastic system.
Swapping out 5 1/4-inch floppies all day long.
And a big old stack of them. Yeah. I had a buddy of mine who had one, and I would go over his house and play. My favorite game on that, I remember playing RoboCop on Commodore 64.
Oh my gosh, I'm
pretty sure you could remember it. If you saw it, you'd be like, "Oh,
yes, I do remember RoboCop."
Playing that, and of course, piracy was rampant on the Commodore 64.
It's only when you got games. Was there?
Right? You'd walk up, you're like,
was there a store you could buy games for the Commodore 64?
I'm gonna go buy some games. You come back, buddy. You just picked up 10 blank discs. I'm like, yeah, I'm 10 blank games, buddy. Did I? Did I?
Did I? Strap in, because the one game I remember in the 64 just playing the shit out of is, and I mentioned it all the time on the show. Probably last episode I did, Larry Bird versus Dr. J. Just all day long is the game I played on my Commodore 64. That backboard. 2 players could play on the same keyboard because there was no controllers. We played on the same keyboard, left and right. So good times.
So we're gonna end this up here. We've gone over the hour. What are your plans for this week? What do you got planned?
We're probably going to finish Spirit Fair, and then we'll figure out where to go from there. My D&D game is currently back in session. We got y'all on Friday, and then this Sunday, my players proceed in a dungeon. We're actually fighting a dragon, doing a dungeon. We're actually playing Dungeons and Dragons in a Dungeons and Dragons game, which is very exciting.
There's a dragon in our dungeon, huh?
Yeah, there's a dragon. They got their butt kicked.
Yeah, I know. I remember. Yeah. I was there.
It was pretty bad. They got their butt kicked by this dragon. But it's good fun.
Yes, so there will be D&D. That's my fault. There was no D&D last week. I got my butt kicked.
Oh, that's fair.
On Friday last week for sure. Life comes at you. My kids started school. It was school at home. We're running back and forth between my office and check on their computers. My wife is in her office. We're just kind of running back and forth, kind of managing everyone on some sort of meeting with my kids. It's exhausting. By the end of it, on Friday, we took a nap at 7 and woke up at 9. Like it was, yeah.
I know, because you texted at like 7 and then disappeared for 2 hours. Like you were like done. You were like, can't make it, guys. Sorry. It's fine. We're all adults. It totally stalled out. But I try not to run it with less than 4 because it's hard mode, right?
Hard mode.
So don't forget to like, subscribe if you enjoyed this conversation. Shoot us messages on the Twitters. He's going to throw that up. We're on the Twitters.
We are on the Twitters. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put that up first day.
But yeah, smash that like, subscribe.
Share, subscribe. We'll do the ticker. We haven't done that one in a while. Ooh, look at that. Like, subscribe, baby.
Like and subscribe. Thanks for jumping on, Rose. Friend of the show. Tim,
everyone new to the show, thank you. I appreciate it. Episode 90 in the can. Take care, everyone.
Be kind.